What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel. We got some big Dungeon Defenders news yesterday for DDA. Now, we all know those surveys went out a few weeks ago. For those of you who took a moment to give your thoughts were heard. And in fact, every survey result is actually listed out on a spreadsheet that is linked directly from this forum post. So if you want to, you can actually go and read through the entire survey results. Now, it's quite lengthy. I personally am not going to go over that in a video, but you can go through and look for them if you want. So kudos to everyone that took the time to put their thoughts in on a survey to help Chromatic make Dungeon Defenders Awaken a better game. Now, first off, we know we are expecting Episode 2 in the future. However, there is going to be a pre-Episode 2. So before Episode 2 relaunches, there's going to be some things hitting the game. First off is going to be a Siren Rework. People don't like Sirens in their current form in the game. It's an enemy that is not countered by towers at all. That's going to be changing. And with that in mind, Sirens are going to be getting some new abilities. However, the Siren will now be more of a conventional type of enemy. The Rifted Dark Elf Warrior, once again, another enemy that cannot be targeted by towers at all unless they're fusion towers. This is going to be changing also. The Dark Elf Warrior, in my opinion, is the toughest enemy in the entire game. If you lose a match, if I personally lose a match, it is normally caused by a Dark Elf Warrior. It is without question the hardest enemy in the game, so I'm glad to see that there's some thought going into those Rifted Dark Elf Warriors. And then, of course, the Session Browser. I know lots of folks have stopped playing altogether because of the lack of a Session Browser. It is returning. It's coming to PC within the coming weeks. However, consoles are going to have to go through certification, so it will be hitting PC first, and then we'll be heading to consoles later on. The Session Browser just needs to be a thing, though. We are a multiplayer co-op game without any server-side interaction, so there's no towns to meet up and meet people, anything like that. The Session Browser is the only thing there to bring people together in Dungeon Defenders Awaken, and an important part of the game. So I am super stoked to see that it is returning. Now, with Episode 2, we know that Episode 2 has got some new content coming. There's going to be new maps, new heroes. Some of those have been revealed already. They did touch on that a little bit. There is going to be some more surveys going out on the Outcast, which is one of the new heroes coming. This is a remake of the Summoner. This is the most requested hero in DDA since DDA was announced, without question. Back when they had a roadmap and a setup for people to put their thoughts in, the Summoner was the most upvoted thing. People want the Summoner. Now, with that in mind, the Summoner in DD1 was completely broken. The expectation of getting a DU-MU pull, I think, is unrealistic. However, there is going to be surveys going out on the Summoner on what Chromatic can do to make this Summoner remake right. So if you're a Summoner fan and you want the Summoner in DDA, when that survey pops, you've got to get your opinions in, y'all. I know lots of folks just didn't bother putting their opinions in on these last surveys, and we see that there is action being taken from those surveys. So get your opinions in on the Summoner when those surveys happen. Now, runes are coming. One of the things that's been discussed on the Juicy May Spectacular here quite a bit lately is the way to kind of diversify your builds to set your towers up the way you want them set up. Runes are going to make that happen. So you're going to be able to tweak your towers to have the flavor that you want. Rifted reworks. Lots of folks are not happy about Rifted mode. Rifted mode is getting some changes, so you can keep an eye out for that. We don't know exactly what those changes are yet, but Rifted mode is going to get changed up. Trading has been a huge request, of course, since the launch of DDA. Trading is a big part of any sort of online co-op type game. Trading is absolutely huge. Anxious to see trading come. The problem with trading is trading equals exploits. it equals dupes, and that is one of the big challenges I feel like Chromatic has to overcome, is getting around all of that. So they're still working on trading. No confirmations on that yet, but they really want to get trading in with episode 2. Going to be some balance changes, y'all. Hero and tower balance. We know that there's lots of issues in the game. Specific heroes have no survivability, making them not endgame viable. That's going to be getting looked at. Various heroes just have weak DPS compared to other heroes. That's going to get looked at. Harpoons and traps. Traps are not in a terrible place. Harpoons need a lot of love, though. So harpoons and traps and just some of your favorite towers out there that may be lacking in pizzazz are going to get looked at. Weapon balance is going to get looked at as well. The issue currently is, like for most DPS characters, the best weapon in the game comes from the last boss in the game, and that is just the weapon to use in endgame. If you're not using that weapon, then you're not dishing out as much damage. So instead of just being a Lycan King boss weapon, they're going to take a look at weapons to give some choices that are all viable in endgame. This, I think, is pretty huge. It needs to happen. We've all got our favorite weapons. We've got our favorite shot types. You know, I love playing the rogue, and the Lycan King weapon is not my favorite weapon to use. However, I use it because it's the best weapon in the game. So I am excited to see a little bit of diversity and balance in weapons on an endgame fashion. Now, pet balance. Pets are going to be getting another look and another pass. Now, they mentioned in here that they had specific intentions with how they removed builder pets. However, they do want to create some defense-themed pets. Now, I personally am a big fan of this. I want to have builder pets in some form. It doesn't have to be the old form, but in some form. I personally want a reason to specify particular heroes for particular tasks, and I know a lot of people really like the hybrid hero format. However, it lacks a little bit from someone who really wants to diversify at end game. Loot changes. There's going to be some loot changes to make the loot experience better overall. Most of the complaints come from Rifted mode, and these loot changes will be addressed with the Rifted mode rework. So there will be some changes to how we acquire loot. Now, looking on to the future, Chromatic included some pretty damn exciting stuff here. First off, Boss Rush. Boss Rush was super fun in DD1, right? There's lots of different Boss Rush varieties. I'd be excited to see some Boss Rush come to Dungeon Defenders Awaken, no doubt about it. An endless survival mode. Now, this one I feel like could be a huge undertaking. However, shy of the small stint in DD2 and the pirate event in DD1, there has never been a true endless mode in Dungeon Defenders. So an endless mode would be super exciting. Of course, an endless mode comes with a whole new set of problems from an engineering perspective, but just them thinking about trying to make it happen is enough to get me excited about it, because I want some endless mode. I think endless mode is pretty damn awesome, and I would love to have it. Customizable cores. Core customization's been talked about for quite some time as well. It is a big fan favorite in Dungeon Defenders 1, and who didn't like changing your cores up and putting the skin that you wanted on them? That was a cool feature. It gave you goals in-game to unlock various milestones. It was just good stuff. So excited to see customizable cores could be on the Verizon as well. Or the horizon, I should say. More assault maps. Assault maps are just plain fun. So, more assault maps. Yes, please. Okay, thanks. So, assault maps give you a little break from the usual grind and allows you to play the game in a little different fashion. Most of them turn into a really good bit of fun, trying some different parkour routes and everything else. More assault maps, please. Now, more challenges and loot changes. Now, here's the deal with challenges, y'all. The loot sucks. We all know it. The loot is not something we want in DDA and challenge mode. So, in turn, that gives us no reason to do the challenges, right? And some of the challenges are pretty darn fun. So we want to get some sort of loot or have some reason to do the challenges. They're going to be looking through the loot, through the challenges, and making the loot better, or giving us a reason to actually make this a playable game mode instead of just like a one-time achievement hunt. And then some quality of life. Little quality of life always goes a long way, and I am anxious to see it. I'm super stoked that Chromatic posted this up. Very, very excited to see what happens for the future of Dungeon Defenders Awaken, because the game does have a ton of potential. Tons of potential. I would love to see Chromatic turn this into just an absolutely amazing game. So links to the forum thread are down below. If you have any questions, I'll be live with some more DDA today at 2 p.m. Pacific time, so coming up in just a few hours. By all means, read through, swing by, let's discuss the hotness to come. And there it is, y'all. Links down in the description. Go check it out. It's some exciting stuff. But that will do it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see ya later on today. Take it easy.